I don't know which reading I like better, the gospel today or the first reading, but the first reading has this curious little detail, and that is, and they came as far as the Forum of Appius and 3 taverns to meet us. Did you get that? There were 3 taverns south of Rome. In my hometown, there were 3 taverns on the corner of 83 and Route 176, so I kind of felt right home there. But what I like about this reading from the Acts of the Apostles is there's all sorts of proper names here that still exist 2,000 years later. You could Google map this and find the island of Malta. And you can find Syracuse, that's near Sicily. And you can find Rhegium, and you can find Puteoli, and you can find Rome, and you can find the Forum of Appius. You can't find the 3 taverns. I think they went out of business, all right? But that's what I like about this. It's very, very factual. Although it was originally written by St. Paul or Luke, the Acts of the Apostles, maybe in Greek, maybe in Latin, it's like really direct. It's like you're reading a newspaper account of what somebody did. It's very factual. It's very real. It's historic. And when you read something like this, you're saying, oh, that's real. This is the Bible, so this story's not make-believe. There's something factual here. And I point that out to you because I'm convinced you do not have to suspend your reason in order to believe in God and to believe in Jesus Christ and to believe in the miracles. He worked, because you had witnesses of that. Now, in the church, there are sacred times and there are sacred places. Sacred times would be like Sunday. That's the Lord's Day. Advent and the Lenten season, the Easter season are sacred times. Sacred places would be cemeteries, Catholic cemeteries, and churches, whether they be oratories, chapels, parish churches, basilicas, or cathedrals. And today, the church recognizes and remembers 2 very important churches, the Basilica of St. Peter and St. Paul in Rome. And they were built during the time of Constantine. The church that marks where St. Paul was buried was built in the year 324 AD. That's a long time ago. That's 10 years after the Edict of Milan, the Constantine sign that allowed for the legalization of Christianity. And 2 years later, they began the building of St. Peter's on the other side of Rome, 326 AD. Those churches lasted a long time. St. Peter's, the original one, from 326 to 1505. Well, that's a long time. That's over 1,000 years. And St. Paul's from 324 until it burned down in 1823. Since then, they've rebuilt new cathedrals and basilicas there, and the main altars are right over the place where they found the relics of St. Peter and St. Paul. Why is that important for us? Because it's real. St. Peter actually existed. St. Paul actually existed. Jesus Christ actually existed. He was nailed and killed on a cross that actually existed. This isn't make-believe. It's real. And I like to tell people that today I think the fundamental question is, why do you believe Jesus Christ is God? What proof do you have? Do you have proof of prayers that you've prayed that have been answered? I know I do. And increasingly, we have a number of people who pray on Relevant Radio, the chaplet or the rosary, and they do as well. It must have been an amazing time, 324, 325, 326 AD, because in 325 was the first ecumenical council of Nicaea. And who convoked it? The Pope? No, Constantine. He convoked it because Christians all over the Roman Empire were confused about, well, when do we celebrate Christmas and when do we celebrate Easter? That was the main thing they did from that council. Easter is going to be on the Sunday after the first full moon after the spring equinox. That's when Easter will be. And they settled on Christmas. The first written record we have that is 352 AD, being on Christmas Day. And that opens a very interesting question. How do we know that Jesus was born on Christmas Day? That'll be a book one day, right? But all of this is to suggest that to you who are here today and the people listening or watching this Mass today, once in your lifetime, wouldn't it be great if you could visit Rome, where Peter died and was buried, where Paul died and was buried, which is the center of the Catholic Church. Next year will be a Jubilee pilgrimage year. All those who go to Rome, or if they can't go to Rome, go to their local cathedral and make a visit. They can win and gain that plenary indulgence for the Jubilee year. Now, just one other comment about the gospel. I can't let this go along. It's a unique miracle, Jesus walking on the water, because every other miracle he worked was to benefit somebody else. But this one, how did it benefit others? And so when you get to heaven, you ask Jesus, like, why did you walk on the water? I think he'll say, well, look, it was late, it was cold, I took a shortcut, give me a break, I'm God, and I could do it, so I did it. Right? And maybe it was also the chance to test the faith of Peter.